Witam Cię bardzo serdecznie, drogi widzu. NgeloQuerro z tej strony w premierowym odcinku Dark Soulsowego Thymesia. W zasadzie źle to powiedziałem, nie Dark Soulsowego, tylko Souls-like'owego Thymesia. O czym jest ta gra? O rozpowszechniającej się pladze i o Korwusie, który wykorzystuje moce zarazy do pokonywania wrogów. Ale zacznijmy nową grę, aby, że tak powiem, wsiąknąć w tą mroczną odyseję. Tu akurat sobie przez chwilę zagrałem, żeby zobaczyć, jak ta gra działa. Żeby, wiecie, podczas nagrania nie było jakichś dzikich cyrków. Dlatego nadpiszemy sobie ten slot i startujemy. Hermes Fortress. Hermes Kingdom, the land of alchemy. It's said that the alchemy employed here transforms disease into antidotes. The people of Hermes were protected by this mystical art, and the kingdom became one of the most powerful nations on the continent. In the beginning, people thought it was just another infectious disease. It wasn't until the livestock began dying and those who had been infected began shrinking out in pain that they realized a deadly plague had befallen them. The various kingdoms tried to fend off the sickness and ghastly creatures, but their efforts were futile, and despair engulfed the entire continent. Hermes' kingdom, founded atop of a colossal tree, quickly rose to power due to their use of a miraculous alchemic science, which was able to turn the plague into a cure. As the plague ravaged the lands, they relied on this alchemy to light the blessed flame. But where there is light, there will always be shadow. Oto jest nasza postać. Basic controls. Use WASD to move Corvus and press left shift to sprint. Use mouse to look around and use E to interact with objects. Use escape to open the pause menu. You can review all tutorials in collection. Okay. Administrative order. Due to the recent epidemic outbreak, Hermes Kingdom is declaring a state of emergency. All citizens must abide by the following orders. All citizens are forbidden from going out. Essential supplies will be distributed by the knights. Any sightings of plague-like symptoms or mutations must be immediately reported to the knights to be dealt with. Any corpses or unclean objects must be handed over to Riverland personnel for incineration and purification. Effective date immediately. Okej. Mamy tutaj jakieś dekrety. Complete crumpled a piece of paper. Follow the commands and search for the cars. Saber attack, wounds and execution. Use left mouse button to perform a saber attack. Use space to dodge enemy attacks. Saber attacks deal damage to the enemy and leave wounds on them. Wounds are temporary and will heal after a short period, if no more damage is inflicted. When the enemy's health and wounds are above 0, they will become dazed. Approach the dazed enemy and use left mouse button to execute them. Okej, to próbujemy. No i pięknie, pierwszego przeciwnika mamy za sobą. A, tam nawet coś w środku jest. Ale raczej tam nie wskoczymy. No i pięknie. Kolejny zabity. Deflect. Use F just before the enemy's attack to hit Corvus to deflect it. Deflecting an enemy attack damages the enemy and negates any damage to Corvus. Okej. Możemy wejść? A możemy wejść. Paper on... Aha. Tego się nie spodziewałem, szczerze mówiąc. Nie zdążyłem doczytać. Paper on the ground 01. A deadly silence hangs over the streets. And the city is completely sealed off. There's no food to be found, nor any water. O właśnie, będziemy szukać znajdziek teraz. Ale tutaj chyba niczego nie będzie. Nie, tutaj też nie wejdziemy. W ogóle jak to się śmiesznie łamie. Lock on. Face an enemy and use... No, scroll, czyli środkowy przycisk myszy to lock on. Lock on enemies will stay in the center of Corvus' side. When locked on, move mouse left or right to change target. Use potion. When Corvus' health is low, use Q to consume a potion. Corvus can only carry a limited amount of potions at once, so use them wisely. Chyba oni mnie w ogóle przyblokowali. Key to Plaza General. Dobra, na Q, tak? Jak ja to mam otworzyć? A, dobra. Nieważne. You are the devourer. Wield your claws. Press right mouse button to perform a claw attack. The claw attack deals a lot of damage to enemy wounds and prevents them from healing. Dobra, czyli on musi być zraniony. Pięknie. Obtain a plague weapon. Each enemy has a unique plague weapon, and Corvus can retrieve this for his own use. Hold right mouse button to fully charge Corvus' claw and release to retrieve a plague weapon. Retrieve deals even more damage to enemy wounds and prevents them from healing. Corvus is vulnerable whilst charging his claw, so it is safer to perform on dazed enemies. Okej. Przyjąłem do wiadomości. Ja widzę, że ta gra jest taka dosyć prosta, w sensie nie ma jakiejś super animacji i tak dalej, po prostu taki indyczek. Dobra, to było bezsensowne trochę. Casting a Rift Plate Weapon. Use 2 to cast a Rift Plate Weapon. Rift Plate weapons can only be used once. Corvus has super armor when casting plate weapons, but still takes damage. O Jezu, zaraz zginę, ty. Pięknie. No niestety musiałem aż 2 razy użyć tego zdziczałego Health Potion. Anonymous Soldier Diary 01. The King's Dagger and the Grey Armor. They are our last hope. They led the survivors and tried to make things right. The infected corpses were burned to purify them of this sickness. Ogółem tak, w sumie, żeby was nie skłamać, to całego Elden Ringa przeszedłem i mam właśnie zajawkę na jakieś takie Souls-like'i, odkąd w sumie nauczyłem się w nie grać, jakby nie spojrzeć. Bacon. Resting at the bacon will save currently progress, refill potions and restore health and energy. Resting at the bacon will also resurrect most enemies. Okej. Bacon found. Aha, i usiadł sobie po prostu. Z tego co widzę, to nie mogę w ogóle levelować ani nic, więc po prostu lecimy dalej. Feathers, as little as our own arrows. Here's there coś tam. Skin pewnie. Critical hits, critical attacks and feather attack. When a green light appears before an enemy attack, they will perform a critical attack that cannot be deflected. Instead, curves must move out of range or use feather attack. Use left control to throw a feather and interrupt the enemy's attack just before the enemy's critical attack hits curves. Curves will regenerate thrown feathers over time. Feathers will also leave wounds on the enemy and stop them from healing for a while. Okay. Pięknie udało mi się to. Bez za daleko, co? Ale całkiem dobrze mi poszło, chyba. Straciłem połowę życia tylko, albo i aż. O, coś tutaj mamy. Resident's Diary. How did this all begin? They said that an accident occurred on the day of the king's birthday. Previously, the plague was only spreading outside the kingdom. But after the outbreak, all have gone mad. Ja w sumie wyleczę się. Nie wiadomo, co mi się tu zaraz przytrafi. Mamy tutaj jakieś ścieżki w dół, albo tutaj. Sobie zaraz tutaj pozwiedzamy troszkę. Chociaż z tej strony niczego, jak widać, nie znajdziemy. O, jedynie tu na dole mamy jakiegoś rycerzyka. O, ty skubany. No i pięknie. Co my tu mamy? Paper on the ground 02. The pathway to all regions of the kingdom are either lined with monsters or blocked by soldiers. None can leave and none can enter. No i fajno. Nie da się tego rozwalić? Nie da się. A szkoda. O, tu coś jest. Chociaż chyba nie bardzo. Tu też niczego nie ma, zawalone przejście raczej. Jedyne co możemy to teraz wejść tam na górę. Kojarzy mi się to z jakimś właśnie bossem. Aha. No to w ogóle wygląda na to, że ci rycerze nie do końca są tacy dobrzy, jak to powinni być. Aha. Ej, ale czemu ja nie mogłem do tyłu się cofnąć? Ja mogłem tylko skakać na boki, nie mogłem w ogóle się odbić do tyłu, nie wiem dlaczego. No ale jak widać, tak niestety musiało być. Jesteśmy w Philosopher's Hill. Hermes' kingdom is built on top of a colossal tree. When nation issues became too overwhelming, kings of past generation would retreat to the core of this mystical forest. Legend has it that here they can access the wisdom of their ancestors. As such, it's been given the name Philosopher's Hill. Odblokowano osiągnięcie Darkness. O, co to za dziecko? Corvus, you're finally awake. I was worried about you. You were badly hurt. Luckily, you made it back in time. Corvus, do you remember what you did? You need the right formula to use Hermes' answer. It appears that the injury caused you to lose your memory, so perhaps it would be helpful to start with a description of what you still remember. Come back when you've got your memories in order. Until then, you can walk around. It might help jog your memory. Okej. Więc musimy sobie tutaj pobiegać trochę. Pozwiedzać. O Jezu. Hermes Royal Bulletin. The families of the Knightly Order petitioned the king to stop sending knights to battle outside the kingdom's border. The former chairman of the Institute for Alchemical Studies, Emerald, has officially appointed someone to take her position. Emerald said that she wanted someone with even greater abilities than herself to lead the alchemical research in Hermes. The Twilight Circus, hailing from the Sea of Trees, was once again invited to perform in the royal court. As expected, Ringmaster's Odor's new performance was received with great acclaim from all who had attended. Okay. Daję bazę. Map menu. Corvus can recall his memories by revisiting locations and quests in the map. More memories and locations are unlocked when Corvus starts to remember. Aizemi's Journal. Philosopher's Hill, the royal family sanctuary. Every fall, Father would take us here. He says that on this hill, he is not king, but merely a father and a friend. There's no need for formalities here, he would say. After the outbreak, domestic matters became pressing, and our visits to this place grew less and less. Dobra, najpierw sobie zwiedzimy może ten Philosopher's Hill. Chociaż nie za daleko i niezbyt bardzo. Edwards the Blessed notes, what brings me the greatest joy is coming to Philosopher's Hill with the children every year. Watching them run about, playing together, never fails to help me forget the turmoil in the kingdom. Recently, some strange sickness has plagued the lands beyond our borders. I must make sure our kingdom is prepared. Ancient words by the gate. It is exhortation of former kings. He who examines himself shall never be lost. Raczej tu nie wejdę. Też w sumie za dużo się nie nazwiedzam, jak widać. Oj, kliknęło mi się. Sea of Trees. In the early days of the plague, the nobles banished all criminals, the poor, and the sickly to a lower level of the kingdom known as the Sea of Trees. The upper rings of society, living above the slum, care nothing of their lives. They refer to them as the hopeless, letting them succumb to sickness and all manner of ghastly creatures. Okej, czyli tutaj po prostu w to miejsce idziemy z tej tak jakby bazy wypadowej. Myślę, że w tym momencie możemy sobie ten króciutki premierowy odcinek zakończyć jako taki wstęp i wprowadzenie do tego, jak mniej więcej ta gra wygląda. Kolejnym natomiast wyruszymy tutaj na Sea of Trees. Dzięki za uwagę i do zobaczyska.